Today's speech, words, devotion, my devotion that spoke to me today was having the courage to love. And I thought I'd come on here and share this because I know that I've struggled in the past with this. I've struggled with the understanding of this. I've struggled with the value of this. And it does take daily intentions and mindfulness and awareness in order to create this and maintain this existence as well. Is being courageous and putting your heart in the front line to love, especially those that are closest to you, to genuinely, authentically create that undeniable real bond with those special people that you have in your life. Usually your people that are closest to you, your significant other, and your children. And then ultimately yourself. This is very important for a relationship with yourself as well, because it all starts from within you. When you're able to create this awareness of the value of this relationship, of having the courage to love, you're able to harness it within your heart and then express that outward to your outward environment and others that reside in that. So with that said, I wanted to come on here because as I've been doing this work for the last couple of years, I felt myself go in and out of this heart space, opening up my heart. The reason why is because sometimes I ultimately and inevitably, and this won't be the last either, I get hurt. But the only reason why that happens is because I came into a big realization of understanding that other people aren't in my state of evolution. Sometimes I struggle with, and I know that most of you could probably resonate with this, when you are growing in a certain evolvement in your life, you kind of expect other people to be growing as well. You don't realize that other people are so dormant and they're not working on this inner work like this inner reflection, spiritual work. That's truly important. And you sometimes will bring up topics or phrases that activate conversations to talk about deeper truths and understanding of our existence, our feelings, our emotions, our psychological upbringing, our upbringing in generally, dealing with a lot of the psychology of a human being. And with that said, with Western society and our approach towards this modern millennial times, I do see a higher awakening of the importance and the value in what I'm speaking today more than ever, which is great because we need it now most times than ever, because there's really a false sense out there that the masses try to put on us, especially dealing with the corporations. They try to advertise on us the importance of materialism, and unless you're a really balanced, grounded, mindful person, if you practice this form of lifestyle, you could really de-associate and detach from things that are important to you and what you truly value and what you truly need as a human being. Because we are all human beings. We all have a heart. We all have feelings. We all have emotions. We have these realistic, commonly needs. We have these needs and these urges, whether they even speak to you consciously or subconsciously, they're there. We have the urge and the yearn for bond. We have the urge and the urge for intimacy. We have the urge and the yearn for touch. We have the urge and the yearn for understanding and self-development, and most importantly, those all feel and project a feeling of feeling safe. So with that said, it really takes courage to really come in to understand that that's what you need, because then you're going to have to be willing to be vulnerable. You're going to have to be willing to, like I said, put your heart out on the front line, because this is authentic as well. People are so good at this day and age as being deceived by illusion, thus projecting themselves in a way of illusion too, not authenticity. So this is very important. It's vital. It's vital to our humanly characteristics, our needs, like I said, our emotions, our stress levels, developing and really internalizing and turning on that internal compass of all the aspects of yourself that you need value in. Yes, we would all like to have financial success. Now, if you are born in more privileged circumstances, it will be easier for some cases for you to approach and obtain these values in all those aspects of your life, because you already have one aspect in your favor, the physical value of materialism. But also, with that said, that could cause a lot of delusion as well and illusion as well. You could be blinded by that and not shift your desire, because your subconscious is going to want it. We all want to feel that wholeness within our own self, into our embodiment of our spirit and our soul. And what that could do is it could really leave a false illusion and create a false path and create a false sense of security. So just be cautious of that, and know that we need to create the balance in all aspects of our life. We need the value of our health to be just as valuable as our wealth. Okay, and with that said, we need to always be honoring our true selves. But how do you know what is your true self if you let the world of illusion deceive you? Most of us don't even realize how lost we are until we have these really spiritual, enlightening moments where that light bulb in the head goes off, and there's just something that needs to make sense. There's a higher, deep and yearn for a greater understanding of your existence, why you're here, what you need as a human being, how you could create this wholeness within yourself. That way you have that, and you're not going out into the external world with desperation and desperate acts, desperate desires to help to get a fulfillment, a false fulfillment of what needs to really just be coned and taken place into the heart. So with that said, coming from my personal experience, I've been practicing this kind of lifestyle for the last 7 years, and I got deeply into it 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And I'm still working on it constantly. It's constant work, just so you all are aware of that. And it takes a lot of mindfulness and energy, like I was saying earlier, but it's so deeply gratifying to stay in your true, authentic path of self. It's so gratifying and the most valuable asset and commodity that I feel within my being, to really create that wholeness within me, so I don't go off making, like I said, desperate decisions to try to get that from the external world. I am able to speak my truth. I speak what I mean what I say. I'm able to have more discipline, honor, integrity. I'm able to create and honor my boundaries that I set in place and with others and myself. I'm able to have a more disciplined lifestyle. I'm able to sense a higher state of understanding and connect to the higher source of the divine. That's the higher wisdom and source energy of the supreme consciousness. The Christ consciousness is what a lot of people talk to and say too as well. It's that loving and really allowing that energy in your heart to guide you, aligning the heart up with the mind and letting that guide you through your existence, keeping you safe, keeping you on your true authentic path, keeping your morals and your values, and most importantly, keeping that humbleness along your journey of bettering yourself. It's a total different approach when you choose the path to better yourself in an egotistical, materialistic way, where there's no humbleness, there's no connected to that higher power, there's no connected to your heart, you're blinded, you're unfortunately not maintaining relationships that are important to you with yourself and with your loved ones. You need to feel that connection. You need to feel that love from yourself and with those other special people that are in your life. You need to make sure that you're prioritizing your time, most importantly. There is 24 hours in a day, and all of us have the same 24 hours. But whether you choose what to emphasize on is your choice. And just know to really ask yourself, is this full-time job making me feel whole? Or do I feel like I'm missing out on the upbringing of my child? Do I feel like I'm missing out on a personal experience that I need to be experiencing, a self-discovery? We should not wake up in fight or flight energy. We should not wake up with fear. A lot of us end up getting us to detach to financial agreements, thus putting us into more debt and having to wake up to pay those debts and having to sign yourself up into a form of enslavement to make that money just to maintain that lifestyle. Well, ask yourself, is that lifestyle what I need? A lot of us, we could learn from financially successful people. And like I said, there are a few out there that have this balanced lifestyle and that are successful because they practice this lifestyle, and they've been practicing this lifestyle for quite a bit. And yay for them, because they are living proof that you could achieve this with mindfulness and awareness of all aspects of your life. So with that said, ask yourself, you should be feeling peace. You should be feeling states of serenity. You should be feeling grounded, cool, calm, and collective, and being able to control your emotions. And most important, being able to control your fears. Knowing that those fears are just surfacing from lack of knowledge. Thus, when that lack of knowledge presents itself, take the opportunity to dive deep into wisdom behind whatever title is upbringing to you, that's approaching, that's arising. Grab books, grab lectures, grab motivational speakers that talk about that subject matter to learn about it and really eliminate and dissipate that fear so you could really come into your heart and love fully with courage. And with that said, you start to feel so great when you start to develop this existence and this internal love within your heart and aligning it with your mind. Now, I want to spread a message about the consciousness of the awareness that needs to take place when you try to share this with others. Know that, like I said, really take into consideration that when you share this kind of real energy and essence of self, others may not be ready for it, and they will take it as a strike, or they won't know how to take it. Honestly, they don't know how to relate with authenticity, because the world is so good at deceiving you with illusion that we're more familiar with that than we are familiar with the realness and the wholeness that comes from this aspect and this perspective of truth. So with that said, just know that if it arises, and it will, and someone's not able to take this information and to see where you're coming from, don't expect everyone to, first of all. But when you are on this state of evolution and you're on your path, just know that everyone is on their own terms of their evolution. And be conscious of who you share the information with, because you could maybe not willing to be so vulnerable that day. And know, if you are, that you're really putting out that heart, that with that courage out on the line, and to really protect yourself. So I always put a golden light all around myself. I watch what subject matters come up with certain people, because I know which ones are able to have the maturity and the realness of conversations to create true intimacy and bonds and truth. Because the truth hurts, but it sets you free, and not everyone has the courage to look in the reflection in the mirror and see their flaws or their challenges that they need to start to work on, so they don't walk around with insecurities projecting out onto others. So with that said, with someone that practices this kind of lifestyle like myself, I am always working on those deeper insecurity issues. That way I'm not vomiting or projecting any negative energy consciously or subconsciously out to others, because we all need to come into the state of healing. And in order to that to happen, we all need to harness and own ourselves, own our power, come in to our true capabilities of self by creating the awareness and the mindfulness of the mind and setting intentions and having that maturity and controlling the tongue and what comes out from the mouth and making sure that it is pleasure and honesty and truth and understanding that's really speaking from the heart and transmuting into the words that formulate from the vocal cords, if that makes sense, from your voice, really speaking truth. And you know, if you aren't, like I said, willing to be vulnerable, it's better to come more into a kind of internal introvert stage while you're going through your process of healing, because it could be overwhelming. You really need to shut yourself off just a little bit in a healthy, balanced way, because I know me coming from being an over extrovert to practicing this lifestyle, I became an introvert, and now I am balanced with both of those energies, the masculine and the feminine energy. I would say those both sources come from, and now I found my balance with that, with knowing what subject matters to watch that arise in conversations with certain people, knowing to protect myself with the golden aura, the golden light of the Most High, and the supreme consciousness of the divine force of love all around me, especially when I'm around people that I'm unsure of their behavior and I'm unsure of their emotions and their reactions. And knowing when I want to take on the challenge and going around people that are so not so conscious of their projections, because you're really putting yourself in the line. So put that armor on, put the armor of God, the armor of the spiritual, your spiritual troops and your spiritual army to support you. And if you're not feeling like you're wanting to challenge yourself that day, then just stay with yourself and be in your own energy until this becomes a familiar place, and you'll feel safer when you do go out to the world and decide to be an extrovert that day. So that is my message today. This is something that, like I said, I have personally experienced from time to time, so I still experience. We all have times of the year, I've noticed, where you're feeling more empowered and more in control, and versus other times such as the winter, because that causes more inner reflection, where you're feeling more vulnerable and not so courageous to want to take on even more projects and challenges of some sorts of this degree. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this little words of wisdom and enlightenment and perspective that I wanted to share with you. And my intentions are always to help others, give you perception and some enlightenment, and just share with you some of my experiences, knowledge, and most importantly, the importance of having that love and that authenticity relationship with self and the loved ones that are closest to you, because it is a human high commodity need. If we don't have that relationship, we don't have that connection, and we feel like we can't offer that olive branch to the ones that we are closest of, we'll really feel inadequacy within ourselves, and that will speak to our subconscious, and we will be making decisions that are more hindrance to us than are for the greater good. And this is very important if you're wanting to practice living in a path of tapping into the greatest version of yourself. So with that said, guys, make sure to subscribe. Please like this video, comment below any questions. I am actually going to be, again, the time of the year for me is always very inspirational to write my self-help book. I hope to finish that within a year, and I'll be sharing more experiences of myself. So keep in touch with me, and I can't wait for that to be available to you, all of you. I have a recipe book right now that's available for $19.99, the hard copy, and $14.99 for the ebook version. If you're interested, please comment down below and I will email you. Namaste, peace, love, and healing good light.